Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention for just one moment, please. First of all, you're all very welcome here this morning to Griffith College. Just before the ceremony gets underway, I'd just like to bring some safety information to your attention. There are 7 exits in the auditorium, 3 emergency exits to the rear of the auditorium, and 4 exits to the front behind me here. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please proceed directly and calmly to the exit that is nearest to you. When exiting the building, please do not use the lift. Once outside the building, you are asked to proceed to Assembly Point G, which is at the corner of the green area over here. In preparation for the ceremony, I'd like guests to please turn off their mobile phones. Please be aware that the ceremony is being live streamed and photographed. And if I could ask you all now to please stand for the Graduate Procession. Thank you. can all remain standing for the Academic Procession. Thank you.
Please be seated. Iana Erica, Agrina Uishla, Foil to Rive, Gadian Sharman Shaw, in a run for Dovoctany, or Diddikish, or Aulamori Uncoloshta. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this graduation ceremony at which third level awards will be conferred on learners of Griffith College. I'm also delighted to welcome graduates and their guests who are not in a position to attend in person and who are joining us today online. Our panel members include Professor Diarmuid Hegarty, President of Griffith College, Ronan Fenlon, Director of Griffith College, Karen Sutton, the Head of the College's Law Faculty, Dr. Edward Matthews, Director and Chairperson of Griffith College's Innocence Project, and Programme Directors Shauna Colgan, John Erdley, Marcus Gatto, and Programme Lecturers involved in the delivery of the College's programmes. I'm Dr. Tomás McGuckagon, the Director of Academic Programs, and I'm delighted to have the pleasure of being your MC for this graduation ceremony. Con Tusakar Len Himmochty, Iramanish and Tullav Diarmuid Hegarty, Uachtaran Colashti Agrifa, Laurtling, Herkiana Colashta. I would like to begin the proceedings by inviting Professor Diarmuid Hegarty, President of Griffith College, to deliver a conferring address.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. As I look before me and see everyone in front of me covered by a mask, it occurs to me that the only thing that's missing for each of you is a pair of sunglasses and a hoodie, and we'd have a whole gang of bank robbers in our midst. I should at this stage immediately withdraw that remark and say it's entirely off the record, because I'm speaking to a group of aspiring lawyers. And just bear in mind that that particular comment is privileged. So, and you know, at times like this, in fact, at this ceremony, it always occurs to me that the realization of life's dreams and ambitions is like a journey through mountainous terrain. Each struggle to a new peak is rewarded with a clear vision of the way ahead. And today, we celebrate your conquering that first peak. This is your day at the mountaintop. Savor this moment and the vista it will give you, and let its joy live in memory for life. I'm also delighted that, in fact, we are including in this ceremony the graduates from 2020. Because your ceremony was online last year, you didn't get the chance to actually celebrate with your parents. And we're delighted to have you here today so that you can do so, and indeed have your parents, families, and friends with you. But remember that during these difficult journeys, we're guided by the experience and dedication of others. Your guides were family, partners, and friends who shared your trials and tribulations, prepared meals for you, put up with your inevitable but hopefully few cranky moods, and those who so readily accepted the stress that you were so relieved to pass on. Now, in the time-honored tradition of Griffith College, I'm going to ask the parents, partners, families, and friends to stay seated while the graduates stand up. Now, I want you to turn back to your families, partners, and friends, and also to those of your family who are watching online, okay? And I want you to express thanks for the support you've received over the years by acclamation, applause, or however you like. Do sit down. Now, if anybody asks me how the graduation speech went, I can say it was interrupted by applause. I'm always reminded, in fact, on this occasion of the story about the priest. The priest told us at a wedding ceremony, he would say to the couple, "You come in as two people, but leave as one." And later on, he described how on a previous wedding, he had in fact said the same to the couple. But after the wedding was over, outside the church, he saw the bride backing the groom up against a wall and saying, "Now, John, I want you to remember from this day to the end of your life, I am the one." Well, why do I say that? It's because today you are the one. You are the one. This is your day. And the accolade that you receive today, you've won through many hours of mental application and diligent toil. No one can take this from you, so wear your gowns with pride and hold your qualifications the high esteem they deserve. Now, as president of the college, you would wish me to acknowledge the work of my colleagues as members of board, as heads of faculty, as lecturers, administrators and librarians who actually contributed to your success today. I'm delighted to welcome our distinguished guest, Paul Reid, Chief Executive Officer of the HSE, and his wife Margaret, and Paul's to receive our Distinguished Fellowship Award today. Today I want to look at the COVID landscape through which you have travelled and how it has challenged you and changed us all forever. You've faced many trials, including for some here, the grief of loss of someone dearly loved. We ourselves lost our chairman, Frank Scott Lennon, to COVID last month. Not just a close friend for over 40 years, Frank was a mentor and inspiration to us all. We were inspired by his courage and his tenacity in fighting cancer for so many years. His piercing objectivity applied to the resolution of many conflicting situations here in the college was an immense source of support to us. We describe our loss in these words: the unrelenting minute he filled with service done, our Maker's meaning in it, for so his life was run. Farewell, you Christian soldier, your courage ne'er undone. Rest well, you Christian soldier, for you life's battle won. And many of those of you in the audience who've lost close relatives or friends to COVID will understand these words and perhaps understand the depth of grief occasioned by the loss. Our thoughts and our condolences are with them. We're currently living a worldwide trend, and that has changed our lives beyond recognition. We never anticipated that a 21-day global lockdown would actually go on for months and turn our lives upside down. We started doing things differently. We needed to be creative and work with what we have. And we started witnessing some historic changes worldwide. While COVID-19 engrossed us in its fear, it also helped us see the world with a new lens. We realized the value of our communities. We also realized the importance of life and what truly matters in it. We had to unlearn old patterns and realize that happiness lies in little things. Simple things we overlooked months ago, like a hug or calling over to our friends or family, those simple things that we took for granted, we now look forward to every single day. This pandemic taught us it is time we appreciate our close ones and be grateful for what we have, and reminds us that life is fragile and that it is time to work together and lift each other up. These past months, we've witnessed a vast sea of kindness and compassion in our communities around the world. It has led to countless acts of selfless heroism in hospitals and care homes. It has encouraged many of us to use our ultimate strengths to serve our greatest purposes, suddenly giving our lives new and inspiring meaning. Among other things, the pandemic has required us all to draw on skills and attributes such as adaptability, resilience, positivity, tenacity, and empathy. We've been so fortunate to see our planet heal, if only temporarily. On your graduation booklet, on the inside front cover, you will actually see 2 satellite images of Beijing before and during lockdown. The air pollution covering a substantial part of northeast China is indicated in color in these images. Beside that image is an image showing the absence of color as the skies cleared up and the pollution disappeared. As we look at these 2 satellite images, we fully appreciate the impact of pollution on our planet. And bearing in mind that everyone, including Mother Nature, had a breather during lockdown. Also, as we were true to our homes, Wildlife took to our streets with no fear of losing their lives. Again in your graduation booklet, this time on the inside back cover, you will see the image of a fox wandering through Grafton Street in broad daylight. I don't think we'll see that image again. He seemed to be heading for the Bailey, or perhaps he thought it was Johnny Fox's. Unfortunately, nobody told him the pubs were closed. The pandemic's most important lesson has taught us to let nature heal itself and not to take it for granted. Our planet is all we have. We cannot exploit it more than we have already. But then in March 2020, in a very short period of time, you had to adapt to an entirely new way of learning due to the COVID pandemic. Gone was the ability to sit in lectures and labs with fellow students, and isolated at home, online classes required you to become more independent in your studying and assignment work. We know that, in fact, you, in this regard, you got great support from your faculty here, and we're very grateful to them. I'm sure you are too, for that support. But it's a testament to your adaptability that you survived and thrived in this independent way of learning. These skills will serve you well in your respective careers. Your learning will be lifelong as you independently upskill and as your field changes over the coming years and time, when the learning skills forced upon you by COVID will serve you well. As the COVID generation, you've largely had to acquire these valuable skills yourselves, and nobody can take these from you. This global pandemic has forced us to embrace the dawning of the era of agility and resilience in the face of severe adversity. We had no other choice but to face the challenges head on and adapting to our ever-changing circumstances. Pre-COVID, we were already understanding the greater need for agility in an ever more volatile, disruptive, uncertain, and complex world. The pandemic vastly intensified these conflicting forces, and disruption forced us to embrace agility for our betterment. The turbulence made it necessary to challenge the status quo and reinvent how our world can function. You've risen to this challenge, and hopefully throughout your lives will continue to do so. The COVID pandemic has also affected how we work. When COVID first hit, businesses and enterprises that could adapted to an entirely remote way of working, including innovative ways of customer service, such as five-star restaurants transformed to food trucks. And many of these changes are here to stay. Not sure about the food trucks, but certainly remote and hybrid working is here to stay. COVID has also seen rapid innovation, particularly in the medical field, with the advent of mRNA vaccinations originally developed for COVID, now being trialled for malaria and HIV vaccines currently under development. An innovative challenge in the field of education is the expansion of apprenticeship-type learning from the traditional trades to administrative and professional work. The major challenge to us of apprenticeships is to change people's attitudes to them. People consider apprenticeships only as relevant to the trades, in particular the building trade, whereas in countries like Germany, leaders of major multinationals started life as apprentices. Griffith is already the education provider for 2 national apprenticeships, one in healthcare and the other bar management. And allied to this are the development of micro-credentials, awards for individual modules of courses, allowing learners to learn at their own pace, to try courses in a different field or enhance their skills further. Your COVID-acquired skills ideally place you to exploit micro-credentials. Now, Ireland as a country is being held up globally as a shining example of determination and solidarity. How as a society we face COVID head-on. Clear messaging emanated from government and health authorities, followed by the imposition of appropriate restrictions, eased and reimposed in a fluid fashion as circumstances required. The common focus and lack of divisiveness was heartening and reassuring. The government approach seeking buy-in, rather than being heavy-handed as in other jurisdictions, elicited a very positive response, resulting in a high level of compliance with sometimes extraordinary restrictions. This aided to flatten the curve and allow for gradual easing of restrictions. But now, as the number of infections increase, not just in Ireland, but throughout Europe, indeed throughout the world, we need to continue to be cautious, and we need to resume this buy-in. The various financial support schemes, costing over 12 billion since the start of the pandemic, has demonstrated to us the value of solidarity, particularly at a European level. Your mission is to pass these lessons of solidarity, agility and resilience to the next generation. Now, in this respect, you, this year's graduates, and indeed last year's graduates, are in good company. Griffith students have won external awards across all faculties, including in accountancy, that's the ACCA International Examination, first place in the world in strategic business reporting, scoring 94%. That's the highest mark worldwide of 8,395 students worldwide. One of our students, photography students, has won the Gallery Photography Graduate Award of 2020. Two others won S Media Photographer of the Year in 2019 and S Media Photographer of the Year in 2020. An existing graduate, a former student, won the Public Relations Institute of Ireland Young Communication Professional Award of 2021. Another student won the Video Journalist Award in the S Media Awards this year. In the area of film, our students won the Best Film Documentary Short at the Prague International Indie Film Festival, the Best Film at the LGBTQ+ Toronto Film Festival in 2021, and the Best LGBTQ Documentary at the Venice Shorts in 2021. Also got one official selection at the Indie Shorts Awards in Cannes Film Festival in 2021, and official selection at the Montreal Independent Film Festival. A design student has been shortlisted for a Future Makers Award by the Design and Craft Council of Ireland, and also another design student has been shortlisted for the Institute of Designers in Ireland Award, Design Award. So, as regards your career prospects, growth of the Irish economy is evident from the news that Ireland remains on the shortlist for billions of euros investment by Intel, and by the increasing number of high-tech growth companies setting up in Ireland or continuing to scale up their operations and internationalise from a base here in Ireland. Examples of recent new investments include the advent of TikTok and Riot Games, opening a new remote broadcast and content production centre in Dublin, and the Irish-led Sonry raising €50 million for cloud security platforms. Announcements of new jobs in IT and the pharmaceutical sectors are regular occurrences, almost on a weekly basis. And this is, in fact, the workplace in which you now enter. Okay? To my mind, it couldn't be a better time. For those who become accustomed to online working and to dealing online, okay, we're going to express a note of caution as you return to the office and offering you some back-to-work guidelines. And these are for the meetings where you find yourself physically present in the office as opposed to participating online. Rule number one, do not attend in your dressing gown. You'll be unable to turn off the camera. Rule number two is do not share with your colleagues that your boss is talking rubbish. You'll be unable to go mute. Rule number three, do not point out when you're sitting in a meeting with somebody that the sound is all clear at your end. Rule number four, do not make faces in response to ridiculous suggestions by your boss. Again, you can't go off video. Rule number five, do not offer to switch on sharing, particularly when you're in the same room as that person. And rule number six, particularly, do not offer to host a meeting, particularly if it's already being chaired by your boss. Rule number seven, do not say that the document being spoken about was not attached. That is particularly when you've been given it physically earlier in the meeting. So this is the changing world of back to the office. Okay, I think we're all at this stage zoomed out, but we are used to it, and we've got very used to functioning on Zoom, and in a way it's going to be a different existence. Our law faculty students enter an ever-changing legal sector, many of them receiving their awards here today. There's new legislation changing the law in areas such as employment, tenancy rights, intellectual property rights, and family law, to name but a few areas. The ongoing development of the Irish legal sector is also evidenced by the government initiative to make Ireland a global hub for legal services post-Brexit. This global hub will be created by positively exploiting the competitive advantages of our globally renowned courts and legal system, and in the provision of EU and other international services in a post-Brexit setting. Lawyers, of course, will relish the change, which brings new statutes and new case law to be interpreted and advised upon. I'm reminded of the first class honours graduate who, in fact, went to work in his father's firm. And after 3 weeks said, I'm glad to have made a difference. I settled that case that, in fact, has been that we've been dealing with for the last 3 years. To which response he got, "You idiot! We could have got at least another 3 years out of that case." The skills which our graduates have developed during their studies well prepare them for any challenges they may face in this changing world, changing legal world. Graduates of the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice qualify for membership of the Irish Institute of Legal Executives. We in Griffith College are proud to be chosen by the Institute as partners in developing this diploma. In professional law, we should congratulate our previous graduates who took 52 prizes in the Law Society entrance examinations in recent years. The college and students were finalists in the Irish Law Awards this year in the following categories: Law School of the Year, Griffith College Instance Project, chaired by Dr. Edward Matthews here behind me, was shortlisted for the pro bono lawyer category. Also, we were finalists for Law Student of the Year, and in addition, the faculty were finalists for the Best Online Learning Experience at the Education Awards. We're delighted to have students from India graduating here today. Bharti Chhatro, मैं आपका और आपके कावलों का स्वागत करता हूँ. And we have some Nigerian students. My people in Niger, how far? How you day? No wahala. To our Polish students, witamy dzieci, Thoroji I Priashiol. We too have our challenges. And key to the value of your award will be our national degrees becoming Griffith College degrees under delegated authority to make our own awards. There should follow, in time, university status, now open to Institute of Technology through amalgamation, which, given our size, should be open to us. We too have to have faith. Back to you. As you glimpse from your current mountain peak to which I referred earlier, may I express the hope that over your period with us in Griffith College, it will have found a place in your heart as you have in ours. I just want you to know you're always welcome on campus, educationally, or just to show off the new BMW. May I conclude by congratulating you on your success and by wishing that you may harness the knowledge and experience you acquired in Griffith College to achieve what you richly deserve, a successful and fulfilling career. Thank you.
President, it is the wish of the College to confer a Distinguished Fellowship Award. I call upon Dr. Neil Meehan, Head of the College's Journalism and Media Faculty, to present Paul Reid for the Griffith College Distinguished Fellowship Award.
Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and Paul. Paul has had a long career in public service. We know him since May 2019 as Chief Executive Officer of the Health Service Executive. As a profile then noted, at the start of his working life in 1980, Paul was 16, a working class kid from Finglas in Dublin, a keen sportsman and fanatical supporter of the great Leeds United team of the 1970s. And we spoke earlier about Paul getting to know the great Johnny Giles from that team and his work he has done at Paul's invitation for the HSE over the past couple of years. Paul left school with an intermediate certificate and began work as a trainee installer in the Department of Posts and Telegraphs. A renewed emphasis on the importance of apprenticeship education was reflected in the President's address earlier. Paul became active in the Communication Workers Union. At that time, Paul also did something the fruits of which we value in Griffith College. He went back to education in the evening. Paul earned a degree in industrial relations and then an MBA. From shimmying up and down telephone poles, Paul was promoted to management in telecom. He left as Executive Director of Networks and Operations to work in the charity sector from 2010 and 11 in Trócaire. Then, between 2011 and 14, Paul worked as Chief Operations Officer in the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform. He was responsible for leading public service reforms at a time of economic crisis. He negotiated the Haddington Road Agreement with 26 public service trade unions. Before coming to his present HSE position, from 2014 to 2019, Paul was Chief Executive of Fingal County Council, one of the state's largest local authorities. Paul is also married to Margaret, and they have 2 children. Paul is the proud grandfather of Aisling, as he keeps reminding us on Twitter. That record of achievement alone should be considered sufficient to see Paul on this podium, waiting patiently for me to finish. But there is more to add. The broader public is generally unaware of the work that goes on all day, every day, to run the organisations that keep the country running. We all became very aware of the role Paul plays because of the very severe public health crisis that has consumed our personal and working lives here in the education sector, in wider society and across the globe for the past 2 years. Our crisis requires for its solution level and not hot heads. The consequences of hot-headedness were seen on Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington until January of last year. Bleach and sunlight inside the body were proposed as solutions to infection. Political rather than medical advice was seen also in the initial approach of our nearest neighbour. Here it was different, thank goodness. Advice on safe behaviour that is still necessary and prioritisation of treatment for those who became ill came first, before vaccines became available. The execution and organisation of these protocols is down to Paul and the team he leads in the delivery of medical services in this state. He did not do it all on his own, as Paul is first to assert, but on his own he had to shoulder a huge burden of daily responsibility. Paul has spoken about having to explain to families why medical service staff themselves became ill and on occasion died, trying to keep patients alive. This sacrifice could not have happened without committed leadership, direction and support from the top. Paul said he was feeling humbled, honoured and privileged to have been appointed to run the HSE. We are humbled by the sacrifices Paul's team exhibit on a daily basis. Aside from these pressures, in Griffith College, we thought it important to recognise someone who runs a large and complex organisation with multiple needs and pressures that deliver for the public good. In directing that service, Paul Reid must deal not only with the structure, but with the politics of health provision. This is no small feat in a hybrid system in which private and public tensions are a daily feature of service delivery. It is also important for us to recognise an efficient and consistent communicator. A crisis also needs clear communication of the problem and a roadmap showing how it is going to be fixed. In a world with so much confusion, so much misinformation, so much misleading communication, clear and objective articulation of priorities, of goals is important. A glimpse of the light that indicates an exit from the tunnel of fear is essential. That is what cuts through the fog. Anyone who has heard Paul knows that competence, clear-headedness, and most of all, a calm voice has re-entered our world. Those who had experience of Paul in the past said, he is a leader. There's no doubt about that. He is prepared to take responsibility and is not afraid of it. He conveys the attitude of getting something done. A senior public servant said he was very strong on taking responsibility for things and not pointing the finger. These qualities have been brought to bear on dealing with the COVID crisis. When he joined the HSE, Paul remarked, "We are looking to move to a much more devolved health system across the country, a system that has more decision-making at local level and a very strong strategic centre. Without a combination of professional autonomy, commitment and initiative at the point of delivery, combined with clear strategic direction in an ever-changing environment, we could have come through the COVID crisis in a lot worse shape." The COVID crisis in part interrupted Paul's important work in implementing Sláinte Care, a profound and necessary reform of our public health system. That challenge is one we are sure he will continue to champion on our behalf. For all its disruption, the valuable lessons learned in coping with COVID, which is still with us, will be put to use in that reform. We can be sure that Paul will not let this crisis go to waste. In summary then, this award is our way of recognising Paul Reid, who is joined today by his wife Margaret. It is also our way of thanking his large team at every level of health provision, from nursing and support staff through to the medical professionals, for getting us through until today. President, I present to you Paul Reid for the college's Distinguished Fellow Award.
Excellent management of tenacious staff in responsibility.
Anish, bhfuil an fáilte go ráibh go dtí an cuid den ócáid in an run for cáiliachtaí náisiúnta agus idirnáisiúnta Vic Lane and Coláiste. I now welcome you to the part of our proceedings at which national and international awards will be conferred on learners of the college, and I declare open this awards ceremony. Ira mar an talamh Diarmaid Hegarty, Uachtarán Coláiste Griffith, cáiliachtaí náisiúnta agus idirnáisiúnta bhrunne na fálamóirí atá dar Herbert ag an Coláiste. I call upon Professor Diarmaid Hegarty, President of Griffith College, to confer awards on the learners of the college presented by the college for that purpose.
Let me first explain the significance of this moment. This is the moment at which we confer upon you the degrees that you've already earned through many hours of mental toil and diligent application. Quite clearly, you have in fact clearly won the right to these degrees. You've won it through the work you have done over the years, and you've won it through the assessments you've passed. But it's actually this point at which you cease to be what I referred to earlier were graduands, that's the Latin gerund, persons in course of graduation, now to graduates. And it's the act of conferring that actually gives you that status, already well earned. So I'm going to actually confer in the Irish language first, and for those of you of whom Ireland is not your mother tongue, I'm going to also express it in English. Har ceann Coláiste I Griffith, agus cóirle deabh bhfuil colíochta agus colíochtaí éireann, bhuineam colíochtaí feabhlamóir an Coláiste, atá hí láthair agus nach bhfuil í láthair, a bhain caidan amach I leithna colíochtaí, agus iarm go gcuirtear na feabhlamóirní féim a bhráid. On behalf of Griffith College and Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the awards on the learners of the college, both here and in absentia, who've achieved the standards determined for those awards, and ask that those learners be presented to me.
Iramanish Shauna Colgan, Stewart Clár, Irahori O'Divanjali Herbert. I call upon Shauna Colgan, Programme Director with the college's Law Faculty, to present candidates in respect of the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice.
Good morning, President, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. This was my first year as Programme Director of the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice, and so for many of you and myself, we started in October 2020 as newbies together. At Griffith College, we pride ourselves on our open door policy, and while that door was somewhat more remote than many of us would have liked this year, I got to know each and every one of you, and I was so enriched by that experience. I want to begin by thanking you and expressing my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. As I'm sure many of my colleagues will underscore in their speeches today, this is a particularly difficult year for all of us, trying to navigate these shifting landscapes and lockdowns. The fact that many of you were working full or part-time, caring for yourself, family, and loved ones, staying healthy, all while remaining dedicated to your studies is a remarkable achievement. But it is made so much more meaningful against a backdrop of a global pandemic. Throughout your studies, you've shown remarkable courage, perseverance, and tenacity. Your family, friends, lecturers, and faculty are all incredibly proud of you, and I hope that you will all recognize the feat that you have achieved. Students opt to study the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice for a number of reasons: to enhance their legal careers, to commence a career in law, or as a stepping stone to our LLB program, the route taken by many of the graduates here today. For those of you who have chosen to continue with your studies with us, I thank you for trusting us with your legal education, and I so look forward to seeing you on campus this year. No matter your reasons for undertaking the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice, it is my hope that you are graduating today with new friendships, a sense of possibility, and faith in yourself. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice in the law faculty and who are worthy of the QQI award, and I ask that you present them with your parchments. Ryan Bissett. Pamela Brownlee. Michael Gaffney. Well done. Robert Glynn. Stephanie Hardiman. Deborah Howard. Well done, Deborah. Alicia Larkin. Well done, Alicia. Nell Marinan. Well done, Nell. Congratulations. Luke O'Connor. Well done, Luke. Congratulations. Jennifer O'Hara. Well done, Jennifer. Congratulations. Elena Reed-Schmidt. Congratulations. Precious Zandil Chavalala. Congratulations, Precious. Anthony Charlotte. Well done, Bill. Well done. Rachel Smith. Well done, Rachel. Congratulations. Danny Esquires. Congratulations. And the 2020 graduates. Linda Leahy. Jane Nolan. Mark O'Sullivan. Elena Vizabitsi. Thank you.
Iramanish Marcus Gatto, Stewart Clore, Irahori O'Divan Lee Herbert. I call upon Marcus Gatto, Programme Director, to present candidates in respect of the law faculty's LLB Honours in Irish Law.
Dear graduates, as well as parents, partners, friends, and relatives, please accept my heartfelt welcome on behalf of Griffith College. Today, your graduation represents the finale of a period of study that has required heroic patience, adaptability, and resilience. Through involvement with our extracurricular activities, such as working as student caseworkers with the Griffith College Innocence Project and participating in the Mooting and Debating Society, you've grown your knowledge well beyond the classroom and expanded your horizons. Students here today also participated in the Brehon Law internships in the United States, as well as the Chief Justice Internship Program. In recent times, how we study, the ways in which we relate as a larger community, and the use of technology have fundamentally and irrevocably changed. We at Griffith College have renewed in the past year our commitment to offering a world-class education that incorporates emergent technologies as well as tested teaching and learning theories. You, as the learners, have seized upon these opportunities for growth, opportunities today that culminate with your graduation. These times have not been without challenges. However, your response to these challenges reflect the strong support of family and friends, as well as your strong character. Today, you join a network of alumni, and more importantly, return to serve your communities, which spread across the globe to use your knowledge as agents of change. Congratulations and every best wish for the future. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed the LLB Hons degree in the Faculty of Law and are worthy of the QQI Award, and I request that you present them with their parchments. Leletu Busakwe. Abrisha Cuddy. Stephanie Donald. Shauna Graham. Stephanie Griffiths. Rebecca Hackett-Delaney. Emma Hanway. Helen Georgina Hewson. Rachel Ellen Hochter. Julie Hogan. Taylor Hallcroft. Shar Inta. Tinotenda Marilyn Kahia. Rebecca Kennedy. Ume Nashin Muhammad Ali. Kudakwase Manase. Aaron McCabe. Paul McGowan. Patrick McGillian. Esther Odenkule. Finn O'Neill. Chang Kui Kui. Sarah Ryan. Roman Shortle. Kean Smith. Emer Taylor. And now for the 2020 graduates, Isaiah Okorede. Luke Patrick Campbell. Ann Dolan. Chris Kendellen. Paul Larkin Coyle. Maxwell Conrad O'Keefe. Oreme Grace Ogadenbe. Gavin Ross. Sean Tester. Titania Volushna. Alicia Yates.
Anish Iram Karen Sutton, Cian Daiva, Irahori O'Divendley Herbert. I call upon Karen Sutton, Head of Faculty, to present the Law Faculty's postgraduate and master's candidates.
Good morning, graduates of 2021, graduates of 2020, President, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. I'm delighted to say a few words about this year's graduates of the Masters in International Law, Masters in International Commercial Law, Masters in International Human Rights Law, and Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in International Commercial Law. This year's graduates have made our programs truly international in nature, with students from as far as India, Nigeria, Morocco, Mauritius, Kenya, Spain, Brazil, Pakistan, Germany, India, Ghana, Jamaica, and the Ukraine, and as near as Kildare and many based in Dublin. Each LLM graduate has produced unique research in their chosen field of international law, which has been deemed to make significant contribution to academic knowledge in that area. This research produced includes a variety of topics, including Laura Edwards' research on companion animals and the law in the European Union, Ireland, and the United Kingdom. Mariam Farouk-Yaba's research on international environmental governance, assessing the effectiveness of transnational climate change regimes, and Elizabeth Ogunderu's research, analysing the effects of EU law on international arbitration through the lens of anti-suit injunctions. Completing a master's or postgraduate diploma programme in law is no mean feat. It takes dedication, hard work, perseverance, commitment, and no doubt many late nights. I hope you see your master's degrees and postgraduate diplomas not only for the valuable qualification that they are, but also as a sign of your own ability and commitment. I, along with the rest of the faculty, wish you all the very best in continuing your expertise in your chosen area of international law. I also wish to congratulate our returning graduates from 2020 and acknowledge too their achievement. Today not only marks the end of your current academic journey, but the end of a journey like no other. Lectures, exams, presentation, and your supervisor meetings all moved online. Your success in such unique circumstances should not go unmentioned. I admire all of you, and as a faculty, we are extremely proud of you. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programs in Masters in International Law, LLM Masters in International Commercial Law, LLM Masters in International Human Rights Law, and Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in International Commercial Law. From the LLM in International Commercial Law, Temideu Omalaru Ayola. Omar Barmani. Inza Dahari. Teresa Wanjiru Menene. Elizabeth Ogunderu. Ayub Uma Okeya. John Paul Ogamagboman Okole. And our 2020 graduate, Sandra Sosa. From the LLM in International Human Rights Law, Anna Paula Bernardo Lazzarini. Paul Fitzsimons. You're very welcome. Caio Cesar Mota de Santos. Faizan Nazir. Lisa Nolan. Max Schubert. And from our 2020 graduates, Adele McHugh. From the LLM in International Law, Miriam Amo. Sienna Brady. Amanda Carvalho. Reese Costello. Laura Edwards. Andrea Inez Yara Lopez. Dermot McTeague. Niall McColgan. Congratulations. Urvashi. Sophia Rudenko. Anastasia Seiko. Mariam Farouk Yabo. And from our 2020 graduates, Anna Claudia Catataldi Milward de Andrade. David Crudas. Sylvia Reyes Crispe.
And as we conclude our conferring of awards on graduates here today and those attending online, I'd like to invite everyone to give a final special round of applause to all our graduates in their career. Tá anás an isig an gláiste dúisna bhronna or a siú the dairi globe or fiaush went to mark in a good lane. The college now has the pleasure of announcing a number of prizes which are awarded to graduates who've achieved excellence in their studies. And I will call upon Professor Dermot Hegarty to be there for a photograph with the candidate as they mount the podium. The following prizes are awarded in respect of 2021 graduates, and the first is awarded in respect of the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice. The best academic achievement on the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice is awarded to Alicia Larkin. The next prize is awarded in respect of the LLB Honours in Law. The best academic achievement on the LLB Honours in Law is awarded to Helen Hewson. The following prize is awarded in respect of the Master of Laws in International Law, LLM. The best academic achievement on the Masters in Law in International Law, LLM, is awarded to Laura Edwards. And we're delighted to have a number of prize winners from our 2020 cohort with us here today. The first prize is awarded in respect of the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice. The best academic achievement on the Diploma in Legal Studies and Practice is awarded to Linda Leahy. And the final prize is awarded in respect of the best academic achievement on the Masters in Law. The best academic achievement on the Masters in Law in International Law, LLM, is awarded to David Crudas. Now that our graduates have all been conferred with their awards, I would like to invite Paul Reid, holder of the Griffith College Distinguished Fellowship Award, to address the graduates.
Mr. President, academic board members, proud graduates, even prouder family members and friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a great privilege to stand here today. I should say I'm very pleased to be standing at this podium and not the one beside the President, because when you're 5'4", you have to pick your podiums very carefully. I hope you can see me here. Mr. President, and indeed academic board members, it's such a great privilege for me to receive this award today. I know Dr. Meehan said earlier on about being privileged and humbled to be in the role I am in, and I am indeed, but I'm really just blown away, privileged, humbled to be receiving this award today, and particularly when I look back at some of the previous recipients of the awards, and I won't do justice to them all, but just names like John Hume, Seamus Heaney and many others. It's really humbling to be here today. And I know when I got the letter of invitation from the President, it was just, I had to read it 2 or 3 times to just make sure it was for me and I wasn't picking up somebody else's post. So it's a great privilege to be here. Just a few words myself. I'm really conscious, by the way, I stand between you and the celebrations with your family, so I'll be very, very brief. But just a few words, first of all, to say that in accepting and receiving this award today, I do receive it on behalf of the health system, and particularly on behalf of all of our frontline healthcare workers who have done this country hugely proud in what they've done and what they've sacrificed for themselves and their families over the past 20 months. We are really proud as a country of our healthcare workers. And certainly COVID has brought much tragedy and anxiety on many families across the country. And certainly one of the hardest things, actually the hardest thing I've ever done in my career, was contacting family members of healthcare workers who sadly have passed away through COVID in their line of work, and just many of the sacrifices that everybody has made. And I do want to thank publicly the public for all of the sacrifices that you have made at work, at home. The whole country has had that spirit of metal for so long, and particularly for many of the young graduates, for what you have sacrificed in your studies, but in your life in general. I really do thank you on behalf of the health system for what you have done too for the country. Dr. Meehan, I just want to thank you for the really humbling words which you said earlier on, but just to reflect again to you, I did leave school at 16 years of age with an intercert, as it was known then, if anybody remembers that. A very good intercert, I should say. I had 9 honours, and I was quite proud and pleased about it. But it was an intercert, and you know, I came from a family of 6 siblings, where none of us had the opportunity to go on and do, you know, pretty working class family, difficult family circumstances, which many working families had to go through. But none of us had the opportunity to do a Leaving Cert. So for me, the value of education, and I always wanted to get back to education. So the value of being able to get back to education is really a life gift. And I had the great privilege, as Dr. Meehan said, to go back and do a degree and go back later on and do a master's. And when I look back, you know, I wouldn't change a thing, because the work experiences, the life experiences, you know, I value. I do think, you know, it's all part of a 3-legged stool for me. Education is a key part of it. Work experiences are a key part of it, but life experiences are a really key part of it as well. And I think that's a classic and powerful combination when we put them together. I was asked if I could share a few tips, if it's of any use, but I'm looking at very capable law graduates in front of me, and I wonder what can I add value to your career. But all I can share with you is just 5 very simple tips that have worked for me on reflection. And the first one is, which you've already done by being here today, is, you know, continuously set the benchmark high for yourself, regardless of where others set it. You know, there's no greater person to set your own benchmark than yourself, and continuously push it and push the bar higher and higher for yourself. Because I never thought I'd be in the role I'm in. When I was a trainee installer, many people say they started on the ground. Well, I actually started under the ground, jointing cables. And, you know, I never thought I would progress the way I did. But I did, and I still do, set the bar high and higher for yourself. So that's my first level of encouragement. The second one, which I would say, is always value your network. It's something that has really helped me in my career. You know, whether it's your network of your fellow college graduates, the people in the college here, that part-time job that you did. The world is small. Ireland is very small. And valuing the people you meet along the way, because as true as night follows day, you'll meet them along the way somewhere else, whether you're working for them or they're working with you. The third one I would say is just that experiences in life being so valuable. You know, education certainly very powerful, and work very powerful. But you'll just always value the life experiences. And I have many fantastic life experiences, and they're all part of what we are. The fourth one I would say is, you know, never let an ego develop for you or with you by your title, your role title, your work title, who you work for, or what company car you might have, because that is not you. You are your own values. You are your own behaviours. That's what people will experience about you, not the title on the door or anything else. So I would say just reflect on your own personal values and your own behaviours, and that's what distinguishes you from anybody else. Final one I will just say is always remain true to your courage of your convictions. Hold true to them. They are what you are. Hold true to your courage, your convictions. Up to a point that they might get you sacked That's where it gets a bit tricky. But do hold true to your convictions, and most times you're going to be right. Your hunch is right. I mean, one of the things I was sharing with our own teams during the tough challenges of COVID and trying to mobilise was, you know, as public servants, and I've spent 30 years of my career in the private sector. I'm very privileged to have spent the last 11 years in the public service, but we're under a lot of public scrutiny, quite understandably and quite rightly. But I was saying to our teams throughout COVID, you know, if we get 70% of the things we're trying to do right, that'll be a great achievement. We will probably get 30% wrong, or certainly do them differently again. But as public servants, we have to be acting. We have to act quick. We have to act decisively. And I will take the flak when we're sitting in front of the Public Accounts Committee or somewhere else for things that we did not get right. But the worst thing we can do is not make decisions. So that's a final one I would encourage you in your career. Make decisions, be decisive on what you're doing. Just in closing, 2 final pieces for myself, just to probably thank my wife Margaret, who's here today, and my wife of 36 years, who I wouldn't have achieved anything. People who make the sacrifices are our partners in life, and I want to publicly thank Margaret. And finally, Mr. President, just to say in closing, just back to a COVID situation, we are in a tricky situation. What I would say to everybody is we don't want people to be anxious or over anxiety is not good for yourself. It's not good for the health system. You know, so we are in a tricky situation. It's a very difficult few weeks ahead of us, and what we all do collectively will get us through this. But right now, today, I just checked my phone briefly before I stood up. There's now 560 people in hospital. There's 96 people in intensive care unit. Of those 556, 250 of those people are receiving what we call advanced respiratory support. So, you know, quite non-invasive but high intensity ventilation. So there are a lot of people quite sick today. The virus is still with us. So do be careful, do be conscious, do be aware. Don't be over anxiety. Don't have too much anxiety. But we will get through this. We will get through this because we're going to live with this for some time. We're going to confidently live with it. Vaccines are working, and we will get through this. So be confident, be brave, but be aware. Thank you very much, President. Thank you.
Ian Erica, Agrina Uishla, Coram Creek Lesson, Sharman Shaw, Kundav Octany of Runner, Aulamori and Colosha, Baron Buikas Liv Galer. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony for the purpose of conferring awards on the graduates of the college. My best wishes and thanks to you all. While the graduates are here with us, I'd like to take this opportunity to briefly mention the Griffith College Alumni Network. With over 40,000 graduates living in Ireland, Europe, and in over 104 countries worldwide, the network is an excellent way to stay in touch with classmates, fellow graduates, and the college. The network is also proving to be a valuable resource for recent graduates seeking or changing employment. As we move towards the college's 50th anniversary, we're also delighted to see our graduates from earlier years using it to recruit Griffith graduates to meet their own organisation's needs. Details about the network are on griffithalumninetwork.com and on the college's website. Finally, we would like to thank all our graduates and guests for your attendance on campus today and for watching in online. For those who are attending on campus today, we regret that we're not in a position on this occasion to invite everyone to mingle indoors and celebrate together over drinks and refreshments as we had hoped and planned. We recognise that health and safety must remain our first priority, and thank you for your support and compliance under these continuing particular circumstances. For now, we wish all our graduates every joy and happiness in celebrating their success with their guests and friends later today. And as a token, we've small boxes of chocolates for everyone as you leave the auditorium. In the future, and hopefully near future, we look forward to meeting you again on campus without restrictions as you continue to develop your successful careers. In the meantime, please stay safe and well. Please stand for the academic procession.